Pretty Dece, here we go. Facebook.com/Pretty Show. It's time to geek out with Josh, your host.
What's up, everybody? I'm Josh Meek, the Uber Geek. Welcome to Pretty Dece, the short show about movies, comics, games, and all the pop culture in between. Today we are talking video games. And we're focusing on Nintendo because Nintendo is a company that has been making strides into the world of mobile gaming on your phone as of late, which is a thing that, if you asked me a couple years ago, it's not a thing I would have ever expected them to do. Put a game out that has Mario in it on iOS, on Android. But that's a world that we live in now. And maybe even more shocking than that, it's a world where those games haven't really been amazing thus far. Super Mario Run was the first one that came out, and it was just kind of a bummer of a game. It wasn't a real Mario game. It wasn't really that fun to play. It wasn't even that good of an endless runner. And then, of course, we have Fire Emblem Heroes, which I know a lot of people like, but it's very free to play. So you have to be very into the free to play hooks to really appreciate that as a game. And then, of course, we got Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, which originally looked like it was going to be a good Animal Crossing game, and then again, the free-to-play elements of that game really ended up ruining it, and it didn't really have the heart and soul that you come to expect and desire from an Animal Crossing game. Well, Nintendo's next follow-up in the world of phone games is going to be Dr. Mario World. This is the phone version of the classic Dr. Mario game, which is a puzzle game that is similar-ish to Tetris, where you are you're combining pills with viruses to clear those viruses. It's not like Tetris in that you have to get an entire row to clear it, but it is a puzzle game, and you are dropping blocks in order to clear things. So it's maybe a mix between a Tetris and a Puyo Puyo or something like that, where you're matching colors. So Dr. Mario World comes out July 10th, so it is just right around the corner. We're going to get to play this game pretty soon. And I'm very worried from what we've seen so far of this game that they're going to ruin this game with the free-to-play trappings yet again. So we got a little taste from a new trailer focusing on the multiplayer aspects of Dr. Mario World, which should be cool. The ability to play Dr. Mario World versus people online, even your friends, should be a really neat thing. But there are a few things from this trailer that concern me very deeply. One is that it is like 2010 era Facebook game, it feels like, because you are sending your friends, or have the ability to send your friends, hearts, which give you more stamina. That's like back in the day when your friends would want you to send them things for their Farmville farm, and you were just bombarded with that. It feels like that's what maybe it's going to be here in Dr. Mario, where you're going to feel obligated to send your friends hearts, and they're going to feel obligated to send you hearts. And the idea of these hearts seem like it's just going to let you play the game. It's stamina. I really, that's one of the things I hate the most of free-to-play games, is that concept of stamina. I've never understood why a game would want to disincentivize me from being able to play that game. The whole point of free-to-play is trying to get me to spend money, and I know that I can pay money to get more stamina, but it feels like they should just let me play the game, let me want to experience the world, and then maybe they would entice me in with some cosmetics or some other boosts. But the literally pay to be able to play after a certain amount of time, after a certain amount of stamina, is, I think, one of the most egregious examples of free-to-play mechanics. So I'm really bummed that it seems like it's here in Dr. Mario. It also seems like Dr. Mario, it might be a little bit pay to win. I'm not sure how the leveling mechanic is going to work for your characters, but you have different characters this time around. So it's not just Dr. Mario. You're going to have Princess Peach. You're going to have Bowser. You're going to have Toad. They all have different abilities, which is pretty cool. I like that as an addition to the Dr. Mario mechanics. But the characters are going to have levels, and they're going to have different defenses and stuff like that. So it seems like once you level up, which you can probably pay to be able to do, your character is going to be better, and it's going to fare better in multiplayer. Obviously, that's not great. You don't want someone who has put hundreds of dollars into the game just to be able to instantly beat you on the sheer fact that they've spent money on the game. That doesn't make it fun. That doesn't make the game worth playing. That just makes me turn off the game and delete it. Moreover, even outside of the free-to-play mechanics, I'm a little worried about the game itself. So, Dr. Mario has never been the best puzzle game that's ever existed. There are better games. I think that Puyo Puyo is a much better game than Dr. Mario, and it has very similar mechanics. I think that Tetris is one of the best games of all time. So if I'm going to sit down to play a puzzler where things drop from the top of the screen, I probably am going to play Tetris. Games like Lumines do similar things, but again, I think are much more elegantly designed. Dr. Mario really gets by on the fact that it's cute and it's Mario and it's pills and it's this themed thing around Mario being a doctor. And they're making two big changes to Dr. Mario for Dr. Mario World that had me pretty upset. And the first is that the blocks are no longer dropping from the top of the screen down. So when he throws pills, they're not coming down the screen as you would expect. They're going up the screen. So the pills are kind of showing up from the bottom and working their way to the top. That's weird because the whole idea of the game is that kind of gravity is working on these pills. That doesn't exactly work out when they're floating up from the top. It kind of breaks your mental understanding of the game a little bit. It's going to take a lot of sort of fixing my brain to understand how that's happening. I'm sure they made that choice because your thumb is going to be obscuring the part of the screen that you're dropping the pills onto. I get how you would arrive at that decision, but for me, it's definitely going to kind of really make my brain turn upside down while I'm playing it. And that leads to the other big change that is a super minor change, but is really causing me distress when I'm watching these videos. And that is that Dr. Mario is not physically throwing the pills into the designed level anymore. That's always been the cool thing about Dr. Mario. He's up there at the top. Your play space is a pill bottle. There are viruses inside of it, and he throws the pills into the pill bottle. Now it's stylized as Dr. Mario is just hanging out up there at the top of your screen. He's not throwing the pills in. He's fighting another character in the versus mode. He's hanging out throwing fireballs and stuff. Why is he dressed like a doctor if we're not going through the whole conceit of he's throwing the pills into the bottle? That doesn't make any sense. So I'm very worried that the cuteness and the kitsch of Dr. Mario that it traded on so heavily in the original game is going to be lost in this cleaned up, changed, polished version that they're putting out on phones. I'm worried that they're going to not understand kind of the cuteness that was the original game. So we'll see. They are adding a lot to this game that original Dr. Mario didn't have. It's going to have 5 different worlds when the game launches. You'll be able to travel around and complete levels, which not something we ever had before. But also not necessarily something that a puzzle game needs. I don't know how you're going to be able to mix up each of those levels and what different criteria you're going to be able to throw on them that is going to make me care that I'm going level to level. Really, in a puzzle game, I just want to be able to play the puzzle game. So the track record that Nintendo has had here with these free-to-play games has me a little worried and trepidatious about Dr. Mario World, but I'm still going to try it out. It's still free. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to see if it's worth sticking around and keeping up with. But again, I have my fears. I hope they're not killing and completely ruining Dr. Mario. So that's going to do it for Pretty Dece for today. Thank you very much for hearing my apparent manifesto on Dr. Mario World. I didn't know I had so much to say and get off my chest about this game. But it's important. I want these games to be good. I think that's the core of it. I want these mobile games that Nintendo's putting out to be good, and thus far they haven't lived up to that expectation for me. So that's really all it boils down to. If you want to check out all the past episodes of Pretty Dece, you can do that. Head on over to prettydeceshow.com. Also, check me out on YouTube, youtube.com/prettydece. And finally, hit me up on social media. If you want to tell me that I am completely wrong about what I'm seeing in Dr. Mario World's trailers, please let me know. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Pretty Dece Show.